Alright, hey guys, here we are. Hole number 6 here. Try to back off the curl just a touch from what I did last time. And, as this is an angled wind, you'll have to make adjustments based on, if you have slight variations of wind angle. I'm going to go about 6 rings for an 11. And I'm also going to curl and go full here. And you can see there I catch my perfect bit of curl. And it looks like I'm definitely threading it through here. You may want to, check out that other guide. It does have a rough shot. I wanted to at least get you an idea of, kind of more or less what you may need to do if you are in that rough. But hopefully you're able to get that perfectly through there. Do keep in mind, if it's more pointed to the side, you might need to go a little bit more, or if it's a little bit more of a tail, you may need to go just a little bit less on that ring adjustment. But looks pretty good for mine there. With a Puck 7, be, maybe just 10% more than what I just went. It's just almost an extra ring. You can see the way that my opponent's doing it there. Also going to be something that you can do. Well, the advantage of a Puck 7 here, this is going to be a much wider gap for my opponent to be able to get through. So I wouldn't imagine that he'd make a mistake, especially with the power 4 ball. So you'll be able to essentially launch it down here so far, and with the extra top spin, I would imagine that second bounce is always going to be, you can see how much longer that is than towards the bunker. So it will be a lot safer if you do play it, with an Puck 7, especially with the power 4 ball. Much more margin for error there. So keep that in mind, because it will be definitely something to at least be thinking about. Now, how to play this shot? That's going to be the big question. So you'll see that I'm more or less going to try to shoot this over here. And at max club, I'm thinking there's 10 rings, 13, maybe a little bit more, 13 and a half. So I'm going 13 and a half rings here. Let's just see what this looks like for our first attempt. I did catch my perfect, so this should, it's a little too much. It's too much. So I'm assuming that has to do with it being uphill there. And, I didn't quite get to the max club number. I was a little bit light. You could see that it was only at +1. I expected it to kind of be really going into that power and getting up like towards that +7, plus, a little bit larger number, and it really didn't. It looks like it was almost a pure side wind. So with that being in mind, I did go too much, but that's pretty much the shot that I'm going to suggest, is that you just kind of take it off there and just try to get that dialed in. I probably went about 1 ring too much. So you can see with what the opponent's doing, I'm going to just kind of show you what this looks like so we can see his shot, and we'll try to count his rings. It was hard to see, but you'll see, he is up farther, which means that he's going to have less to go. And, I didn't really notice that this was this much uphill. I wasn't really paying attention to that. But it is kind of substantially uphill, so something that you do have to keep in mind. But that's, more or less the way that I'd recommend doing it, is always with that bump. And you can see, this won't, leave me any real problems. We'll just want to make sure that we just barely put this on the front of the green, kind of like this, and, right into the left side of the hole. And then, we shouldn't even really need perfect ball on this one if you do wind up here. So it's really, more so than anything, that over adjustment just cost me, the hole out. And we'd be able to easily put that in. I'm just going to go ahead and forfeit out so I can get my bogey. But good luck there, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.